Good morning. It is day 2 of our build. It's actually afternoon here. I guess it's almost 2 p.m. in Southeast Michigan. And we are getting ready to start working on the floor extension to add boot boxes and a little bit of storage underneath the living space floor. I started today by just straightening up and making sure that the floor space is available to use as we start this project, and by putting some finishing touches on the work that we were doing yesterday. I mentioned in the video yesterday that we were going to be taking the sawdust to fill in some of the gaps here from where the new pieces don't fit perfectly up against the existing floor, so you can see the beginning of what that looks like. We're about to use this compound miter saw here to cut these 2x6s, this particular 2x6 at an angle here so that it will meet up with that floor. In order to get the angle, we just took a piece of cardboard and folded it over the angle of the floor, took a box knife and cut that off, and then used this as the template for our angle. And hopefully with the compound miter saw, we will be able to cut off that piece of unnecessary board in one fell swoop and be able to move forward with this project. So what we decided yesterday was that as opposed to these being boxes where you can slide the boots in from the side, it's actually going to be enclosed. So it'll be a solid wall up against there, and we're going to put a lid here that will just flip open, and that way you can reach down and drop the tall boots like the motorcycle boots or winter boots in the bottom one, the hiking boots in the middle one, and then this will all be excess storage space for, I don't know, dog poop bags or whatever. We also decided that instead of changing what was going on with the doors, we are going to take the mechanism out still, but we're actually going to use the bus doors and put internal and external locks on there for safety and function. And the door on the left there will actually be the primary entrance in and out, and then for extra airflow or a little bit of extra space getting in and out for grocery shopping or whatever, then this door will be able to still function and open and close by itself. So that is what we've got going on right now. I will keep you posted. All right, so here's a little update on how things are going. We had the miter saw out and missed the blooper reel, but we created the angle to extend the floor, and here's the frame for it. We decided to do the little notches just to give it a little bit more sturdiness, as opposed to screwing them to each other square. We put the notch in there and set that on top, so that'll give it a lot more strength and make it a little bit more functional for or weight bearing rather. And we did discover that in order to put the lid that's going to flip up, that we're going to have to take about 3/4 of an inch off of this 2x6 here, because as you can see, it is flush up to the floor and there's a 3/4 inch piece of plywood here. And so in order to be able to do that, we're going to have to take 3/4 of an inch off of this 2x6, which we're going to use the table saw to do, and continue to build. So we are getting ready to make one of what will probably be 100 million trips to the hardware store. But we are getting the Luan and insulation to put on the floors. We are going to actually put Luan over the styrofoam walls and the styrofoam ceiling, because the ceilings are actually going to be cedar plank lined, which will make it smell nice and wonderful in here. And so we're going to get the insulation and the luan, and there's one of the dogs, that's Lady, and they're Fifi, and there's Fiona. This is going to be her home too. We're going to put luan down basically on all of the floors and ceilings to give us nice flat surfaces to attach cedar to all of the walls and the ceiling. And I am going to start looking for flooring so that we can lay down the floors and build our cabinets on top. So that's where we're at, and we'll see you on the flip side. Hi, so I am just gonna do a quick little wrap-up video here for day 2. We didn't get a ton of actual physical building done, but we did get the frame for the boot box slash storage box slash floor extension built and ready to be put together. We had to go get some screws. That was a part of the trip to the hardware store. While we were there, we got the remaining pieces of the puzzle for laying down the floor. We decided that we're actually going to cover all of the existing styrofoam insulation that's in the walls and the ceiling with luan, and that would give us a better foundation for putting up the cedar planks that are going to basically coat the walls and the ceiling of the bus. We got some insulation, the brackets that are used for safety harnesses for the wheelchair locks, and were not easy to get up off the floor, so we decided that we were going to lay down some foam insulation and then put luan over the floor, and then put the flooring on top of that, and that was the way that we were going to move forward without having to rip up the subfloor in order to get the metal brackets out. And so we got all of that stuff all said. In total today I spent just about $600 in materials at the hardware store. That is thankfully with my veterans discount that Lowe so graciously offers. And we pretty much have all of the lumber and materials that we need. We actually ended up buying all of the pergo flooring for the interior of the bus, the luan, the insulation, and random things that we needed today. So all of that is good, and tomorrow we're going to do some minor repairs on some of the insulation. We're going to fill some of the places. Originally I was going to take the styrofoam out and replace it with Havelock wool, but when I discovered that probably the best thing that they did in constructing this bus was attach the styrofoam, I made the decision not to do that. So in the places where I started taking the styrofoam out, those need to be filled, and we're going to use some Great Stuff spray insulation in there, level that out, and then put the luan up and lay the floors and finish working on the boot storage box tomorrow. So for now I am going to just clean up the mess that we made today so that we can start with a fresh canvas tomorrow. And it is getting even colder here in Michigan. It was about a high of 33 with the wind. Even though the sun was shining today, there was a chill in the air, and now the sun is going down. So it is getting much chillier, so I'm gonna call it a day. We do have a diesel heater that we bought just specifically for the use of while we're working in the bus, and it will probably be used tomorrow, though it is in the forecast, supposed to go back up into the 50s over the next couple days. So I'm grateful for sunshine. I'm not going to complain about that. We had a good day of picking up materials and preparing ourselves for a full day of building and laying floors tomorrow. It's all very exciting, and we'll see you then. Have a good one.